Yes, people, I was just passing through this area here. This container, it most likely is some kind of a herbicide. And the reason why I am really bringing out this particular point here is to try to show you the connection between the things that we do, the bad activities that we do, and how it affects even our bottom line. Now, this area that we're in here is an area close to Fondor. As you can see, this is a wetland area here. And in this area, I have seen people come here to catch crabs. One will come here, catch crabs and do all of those things, but yet sometimes we are not protective of even our very economic activity. Because when you go about messing up the environment like that, poisoning the water or even the plants that are here, what will happen is the crabs will disappear and you will not be able to make a living selling the crabs. Now, if you would look just next to this wetland area here, the whole area is supposed to be a wetland area, but I'm just trying to show a demarcation just for the purpose of explanation. Just on the other side, a man has a farm here where he has things like plantains, okra, bananas, and this kind of crops. Now, I hope that he's not using herbicides here, because what happens is the herbicide from his farm will invariably find itself into the waterway that we have here. Now, it is very important when you have these kind of environments to have what you call a buffer zone. The buffer zone is an area between your farm and the waterway where you do not cultivate, you do not plant anything. You just allow the vegetation to grow. The reason for the buffer zone is the chemicals that you use on the farm, when they reach the buffer zone, the zone between your farm and the waterway, it will be like a place where it's almost like a transitional zone where the chemicals that you apply on the farm will have some time to be broken down, if they can be broken down, or they will just remain confined to the buffer zone, or a larger concentration or larger amount will stay in that buffer zone, thereby protecting the waterway, and so the chemical will not be able to get in the water. And if some come into the water, it will not be much to affect the balance in the water. So these are the things that we need to do. I remember some years ago when in some kind of government program, they were advocating to have these buffer zones. And the farmers were quarreling and making noise and making it look like it is an attack against them. Now, what we have here is, if we allow these waterways to be contaminated or to be polluted by the chemicals that we use, invariably what will happen is these chemicals will find themselves in the sea. And even before these things reach in the sea, they'll find themselves even in the rivers that are close to the sea. And the thing is, again, people use these waterways for fishing, to fish, to catch crabs and things like that. So you'll affect that kind of life. Also, you will affect, you will be polluting the sea also. And what happens is, when the water gets into the sea, if you have coral reefs in that area in the sea, it bleaches the corals. The corals basically lost their life form. They get pale, they look white, and they are not attractive. You find sometimes people come into the country just so that they could dive in these coral areas, in the coral reefs. And if you're going to be losing those things, the people will not be coming for that purpose. So it is showing us that the very activities that we take part in, the destructive activities that we take part in on the land, is going to affect even the tourism product that people speak about so much in this country. So it is something that needs to be highlighted. And it is something that people need to be seeing more often. These are the things that we need to be seeing more often and hearing more often. And these are the kind of things that people need to be taught in schools from the time they are small, so that people grow up with the whole environmental management and conservation ethics inside of them. So I just wanted to show you that these are some of the things that we have to look out for. And even in some of these areas, like lower down, again, depend on the time of the year. Sometimes some of these things have big fish in them and people come to fish. So if it is that you're going to be fishing there, you're going to be catching crabs in these places, it is very important that we protect the place and do not allow the chemicals to seep into these waterways and into these mangrove areas, all right? Keep the fire burning.